Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a mixed media frenzy. And it's actually going to be just exactly that. Um, First of all, this is a Lindy's Gang pin that was chosen for our lift today. And as you may or may not be able to tell, this is so far outside my comfort zone. I think I said this the other day. It's so far outside my comfort zone that I can't even find my comfort zone. And I'm going to try to tell you why. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of the color scheme, and I hate saying that because I like all the colors there, but the background kind of seems a little bit muddy, and I think mine's going to end up that way too because I'm going to use some distress oxides and I'm going to do for the watery background, and then I'm going to do some stenciling with this weathered wood color, which will kind of add some gray. I'm hoping that the other pieces that I've chosen will actually brighten the color. I don't own any of these kinds of flowers, and I will never. So I do have some that I used for a special project a while back. I'm going to have a nod to these by kind of mixing these in with some of the other elements. I've got a goofy photo that I had never seen before until my son put it on his Facebook memories of Ava eating a cinnamon roll that's as big as she is. So I'm going to use donut embellishments and other kinds of sweet treats and some just miscellaneous fun, childlike type embellishments, while still capturing some of the essence of this. I see there is a bit of a doily sticking out kind of from behind the photo cluster. And I've got a doily here. I'm not sure if I'll use it whole. I've got some of these, I've got a couple elements. This one has actually been stitched because I'm working on a challenge that requires stitching on an element. I've got this frame that's going to go around or have the photo setting in that. I've got a fake bow and a little sugar sign. Just some fun elements and some ice cream cones, and my circles here are going to, I've cut them out of white. I've used a pattern paper that I don't care for and cut from the white side using these dies. And I think these are Impression Obsession. I'm not sure. But these are Vicki Boutin stencils, these turquoise ones, and this one is a Tim Holtz. So my idea is my background is going to have the colors that are in these two vertical pieces, and I'm going to add these, and these are scraps from Vicki Boutin's Let's Wander collection, and I'm going to kind of maybe lay them about kind of like that. I had to, there we go. I put a little bit of adhesive there to stop the thread from running on my sewing there. So I'm going to do a watery background. I'm going to build it by using this Distress Oxide and Twisted Citron, and in this tumbled glass kind of thrown in there. And this is going to be the wet part, so I'm going to spray it. And then I'm going to kind of turn, well, actually I'm not going to turn it over. I'm going to lay the paper on top of it. And this is Vicki Boutin's foundation paper. And if I don't like how it turns out, I can do it again on the other side. Okay, so I've got the runny, watering kind of look there. I'm not seeing enough of the blue, although I'm probably okay with that. Let me take a paintbrush and try to pick up some of the blue, maybe do some more blue out here. So that I can add it kind of over. This is kind of multi-level stuff going on here. Okay, there. I'm going to say that that will work for my background. I may do another, let a few drops kind of go outside that strong vertical area there. I'm going to put this back down in case I need to bring it back up. Let's see. Let's go this way. Okay. Now, I may bring back some blue if I'm not seeing enough of it. Okay. The next thing I want to do is add some pink to the composition. And I'm going to do that in drips and splatters. And I'm kind of trying to, let's see. I'm actually going to go ahead and wipe off the blue and green here. And I'm going to just be happy with the level of blue that's in there. And I'll add some blue splatters to the pink. So let's do this. I'll do the pink first. And I'm kind of going to work with two pinks. This is Worn Lipstick, and I've got some spun sugar, much lighter than that. I'm going to kind of spritz these up, and then I'm going to try a technique I've never done before. Instead of, I'll just let some drips kind of come down, and let me get over here. Some of these lighter pink drips. I want to stop the darker pink from going down, and I want to do the lighter pink and kind of let it go all over. Okay, now I'm going to go back and hit this again, and this, and I'm going to get them adequately wet. That I can get some okay. Now I'm going to clean up. I will first dry this by, well, it's what do you move out of the way first, right? Let me wipe that off. And then I'll get down to a clean one. I'll move this over. Okay, I really like how that's kind of bleached out. That's given it still a kind of bright, light, airy look as opposed to the kind of heavy, I don't know, depressing look of this one. And I hate saying that because I realize that 90%, 99% of the known universe would think this is beautiful. And it's just troubling to me as I look at it because I'm not seeing it that way. Okay. And I'm kind of trying to lighten and brighten it. Okay. So now we need some blue in the sprinkles. And I'm going to assume that this is gonna pick up blue if it tints it a bit with the pink that's already on there. I'm not gonna be bothered by that. Oh, I've got rather a splotch there, and it is a bit muddy. I'm hoping that will muddy. That's what that other page looks like to me. Okay, I did that a little bit off camera because I had this in the way. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm hoping to be done. Okay, that's better. I'm good with that. I'm going to let the background stand there. Now, as I said that I was going to do the stenciling with gray, let me do a little gray that I know is going to be kind of covered up with the cluster, and I'll see if I hate it. Let's see, which one of these do I use for neutrals? Okay, here's one it's actually a dark blue, but I've used it for gray before, and that's fine. I just want kind of a light there. Okay, that is fine with me. I'm not objecting to that too much. Just a little bit of that. And I want to add this element, but I think I might use the blue. And I'm gonna maybe kind of place this where it somewhat overlaps with the gray. Okay, very light. Let me do, I don't want to cover up that splotch because I'm rather fond of that splotch. Very light, didn't even re-ink the brush. Maybe let's do a bigger one here because this is about where the photo's gonna go. Let me press down a little bit harder on that one. Okay, that's good. I've got 3 of those in there. Now, let me do some of this. And this was, it looked like it was very faintly brushed over some of the other pattern. Okay, I'm doing a little blue and gray here. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave that, and now I'm gonna start building my top layers and see how much of it I end up covering up. That's always the way, right? Okay. Now, as for the doily, I'm going to, because I'm doing something of a white on white, although underneath the white will be these other layers of color. Let's see how much of this the doily covers up. Okay, I'm going to, that's too much. I'm going to cut a piece off the doily and maybe put it there, and then another piece off of it, and then I'll disguise the fact. See, that allows this to show and all of this to show. And when I do the rest of this stuff, that it'll kind of disguise the fact that I don't have a whole doily, but I do maybe want them kind of cattywampus of each other. Okay, so let's do this, and it's okay if it's at an angle, because we're going to quickly kind of hide the evidence here. So that will go across that seam. Okay, now I'm going to put this guy down, and I might mount the photo a little bit at an angle there. Okay, I like that. And I'm really not going to, in other applications, I might have put foam behind the frame, but I'm not going to do that here. I don't mind if the frame shows how flimsy it is. I'm not sure how to say that any other way. It's not going to bother me for it to, bend and curl a bit under in the midst of all the other embellishments. So I'm going to do this. Well, let's not put it upside down, right? Maybe like that. And then everything else is going to build from there. Let me put my title down. I have pulled letters from various words here, and from 3 different words, 4 different words, I guess. I have made the title Yum. I found enough of the right letters to spell Yum. And I think gold glitter is an appropriate material to use for that expression. I can't remember what letter I cut that off of. I think it was a J or something. And I've got that. Now, I know that right here, there are some elements kind of right under the title. There was a ribbony kind of bow. I've got this bow, which is a little out of character. It's from a Maggie Holmes chipboard. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll build embellishments around it. And it may get covered up in the process. There, and then I've got this little thing that says sugar, and I thought that might be cute, kind of right up here. Okay, I have this that says yeah, and I don't think I want to add that. So now I'm gonna start layering in donuts. So I could do one between the photo and the mat. Well, actually, let me take some of the more dimensional things. This little fringe thing kind of looks like it's exactly the right color for the word sugar there. And this teal one kind of looks like that. How about if I put that? Ooh, okay, that works. I like that, guys. And this yellow, maybe I could have it. Let's just leave the two for now. And I'll go with some of the more colorful items here. And I'm just gonna kind of layer kind of reinforcing the vertical because the colors have kind of gone out into the field here. I've got this little stack of macarons, which is actually her favorite confection. I went through my supplies just looking for sweets. And oddly enough, I have quite a few. These Amy Tangerine donuts have been around for a while, and I had no idea how I was going to use them because, you know, at my age and weight, you know, confections are not something I need to scrap about or celebrate or concentrate on. Or that's kind of cute, sticking out like that. And then I've got this little sticker that's a ice cream. Gonna kind of put it right there. It's a different kind of treat. Let's see, I've got a couple more macarons. These are puffy stickers. Gonna kind of fit that one in right there. And maybe do something, maybe something right there to here. I've got a couple. Is that a sticker or that's something I have to fussy cut? Let me fussy cut because this is just too cute. And there's a guy in the background in the photo here that I'd really like to cover up. So I think if I layer these two, kind of one on top of the other with a little bit of foam, I think that'll do a good job of it. Let's see, and what did I do? There's the other one. And I don't know, it's just a scrap of paper that I had in a Calvin Ball box. Occasionally Calvin Ball has a rule for having sweets or ice cream or, you know, something sweet. Sweet treats is often a category. And so I started a little book. Let's see, where's my phone? I have some phone here. I started a little container of miscellaneous Calvin Ball kinds of things. So, I don't know if that's really how it's labeled, but get this covered up. And I have a hedgehog, speaking of Calvin Ball. The hedgehog satisfies the animal that needs to be on the page for the Mind the Scrap, this week's Mind the Scrap challenge. So the point of the ice cream is not that she's eating ice cream, but if she wanted something, some additional, an additional sugar rush to go with that cinnamon roll, she could always go for those ice creams. Here's another different kind of little donut, and I still haven't used this puffy sticker. Well, let me just layer it with this one. They're similar, they're the same kind of embellishment, so grouping them, putting them on together kind of makes sense. Okay, let me do one more. Let's see if I can sneak this under the frame. Ooh, no, under the doily is even better. There we go. And I can put this guy, my little hedgehog, kind of right there. Okay, it's already on some sticky foam. Okay, now my circles that are going to kind of be a nod to these. This larger one wasn't big enough to, go behind or even in front of this photo. So I'm just going to use it kind of right there with a little, I'll let it be fairly loose because that lets it kind of fold up and give some dimension. And I've got another type of circle that got cut from that same die. And I thought I'd do it right there. And I like the white look. This is a small circle there. Again, let me lift this up, and I want to be sure that these splotches kind of show through. And this gives me a little spot for some of those flowers that I'm going to use. This is another of the big ones, and it cut off the end of the paper. So I was thinking maybe I could put it over here. It actually could go nicely down here if I hadn't already glued Yum. But let's see if we can do it anyway. Can lift up the Yum, kind of slide it under the doily, the bit of doily that's there. It'd be nice if I planned things and knew exactly what order to do them in to prevent having to do stuff like this, but I prefer to let it kind of take shape and be inspired by the shape it wants to take instead of imposing my idea of the shape. And I certainly don't waste a lot of effort trying to conform to exactly the design of anything that I'm being influenced by. I pick the things I like and um, and am inspired by. I have to feel inspired by something, and especially on a design like this one that isn't exactly up my wheelhouse. Okay, I do want to use these little snow cone, ice cream cone kinds of things. I'm going to do one right there, and then I'll use that as a guide to kind of do some flowers. I'll have these kind of peeking up behind those flowers I showed you before. Okay, that's good there. And this one will go up to towards the top, and I'll work the flowers around that way. Let's do it like that. Okay, and I didn't put those up on foam because the flowers are going to be the higher dimension here. Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm going to group 3 around each ice cream cone. Let me see. And that the little rosettes on these fabric flowers are the exact color of that twisted citron, and I love it. Okay, so maybe I should put the flowers down before that. That's actually stuck. The flowers are not sticking. The fabric does absorb some of the liquid glue, so some people use a glue gun for this. Let me put the other flower, I guess maybe. I'm just gonna do it over here and make it a cluster of 3, and the little ice cream cone will be kind of sticking. I had it in my mind that the flowers would be around, and this would kind of be peeking out from under the grouping, and that's kind of what it's doing. Okay, my other little ice cream cone is right here, so I need my 3 flowers there. I'm going to turn the page around so I can reach that more easily. And I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to bunch the flowers maybe over here on the donut and the frame. And this is going to be so different from the original, and that's okay, because I let myself be influenced by a design that's not second nature to me. And I let it guide me enough, but not so much that I wouldn't like it, but enough so that I can create something that I am happy with. And that's kind of what it's all about. That's what lifting and using sketches are all about. Okay, so the only design plan I had in mind for this was that I'd have a vertical, it would be the scrapping elements would be arranged vertically. I would have the doily and some of these kinds of dimensional flowers and the circles, the circular elements. I'm trying to see if I need any more donuts to either reinforce the circular element or the sweets element, and I think if I put that underneath the doily, that gives it an interesting look. And to be honest, at this point, I'm doing, I'm putting these things on to use them. I have too many of them. Okay, I'd like to do that one maybe right under there. And for now, I'm not going to worry about, okay, that's a donut, but you can't tell it because I put the hedgehog there. So you get to see that donut now. Okay, I think I'm done. I've got the title on there. I've got all kinds of sweet elements. I've got the circles. There's a frame underneath this. The only thing I might want to try to do is put a third one of these, and I don't know if I should use the pinkish one, which kind of goes with that, or the yellow, which really doesn't match anything, maybe the icing of that cupcake. So I'm going to go with this pink, and I may put it just kind of as part of that flower cluster. So that gives me an uneven number of them, and it's the right color. This one kind of picks up on the orangey colors there, the peachy stuff. Anyway, let me clean it all off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another Mixed Media Frenzy. Bye.